and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and... Oh, shucks, I can't dance.
Hello, welcome back to Up and Go with Muffins. My name is Dan, and joining me, as always... No, we're keeping that. Joining me, as
rolling
always,
with that, all right.
is my co-host, Ethan. Welcome, Ethan.
Hi, everyone. Today we're talking about one of our favourite subjects.
Is it?
Food.
Oh.
Yeah, food. No.
Yeah, you would think food is our favourite subject. We're joined by Luke and Jonathan.
Howdy.
Welcome back, boys.
Hello. Good to be back. Good to
Yeah,
be
we're
here.
going to talk about music because we all enjoy music. Jonathan has a bit of...
I think Jonathan likes music a little bit.
Jonathan.
just a little bit.
It's all right.
little bit.
He's pretty decent at music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right at music.
A slight
I'm
inkling. We're
not.
actually using his stereo studio to record this
Yeah,
episode of the podcast.
it's got lots of nice
Welcome.
foam around, which make
Yes.
the audio sound nice.
Make the audio very good sound, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
These two. Yeah, you'll probably notice that these two episodes sound a lot better than anything else we do.
Audio is my job.
Yeah.
Audio engineer.
Yes, if Jonathan was like a full-time part of the podcast, we would sound pretty flashy all the time.
It would
Pretty
be
spiff
pretty
and
good.
spank.
Yeah.
But
Or
he's
maybe.
not. So, and we decided to record these episodes here. This one and the last one, if you missed it, it was episode 10. We
Check
did
it
a
out.
top 10. We decided
It's
to
on
record them
YouTube.
here so that he wouldn't sound much better than us. So we just all sound the same.
Yeah.
That was the reason we did it.
Indeed.
But
We're all egotistical.
yeah. We're here to talk about music, but also Jonathan is going to try his very first Up and Go.
Room
If they
temperature
never listen
strawberry
to listen to the
flavour.
last one, they won't know anything.
Yes.
That doesn't
There is
matter.
actually a story as to why Jonathan is drinking this on this episode.
Continuity, am I right?
Continuity. Now I'll spoil it. He's never had an up and go, apparently.
Apparently.
Unthinkable, unfathomable.
I haven't.
The
But
sanitarium
real.
overlords do not agree.
Do I have to like it to stay on the show?
No. If you don't like it, you'll
Well-
never come back. But
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not like an instant
interesting-
fail.
it'll be
Just be like
interesting.
it while you're not getting.
can we hold your mic?
It'll be interesting as I don't think we've had someone do like a live tasting, especially since they haven't we've done sort of live tasting with like the weird
blend.
Sure, we did the
blend.
blends
we-
ones.
but
Yeah.
we-
Open it like
we'll-
this, right?
No.
Why is the straw upside down? Isn't it usually the other way around?
No.
Does it matter?
If you missed the last episode as well, we are filming and putting it up on YouTube.
Yeah, check us out.
Would you like a straw?
If you're listening on Spotify,
Opened your straw.
check it out
you
on
got it.
YouTube as well. If you want to
Sure you
watch
do.
us
There you do.
actually watch our mouths move as we
touch your straw.
record.
So I'm always
Jonathan
scared of,
begins.
I'm always scared of having this pressurized when it...
Well, just don't squeeze
Luke
it
is
too hard.
talking, so I took the mic away from you.
Oh, I was trying to narrate his up and go experience as he
Oh, go
begins
on
to
then.
Just don't
insert the
squeeze it.
straw inside
Cast
of the
it.
carton.
Cast it into the.
He's
He
in that
approaches
picture of someone
carefully.
doing a Capri
Actually,
Sun in the
shut
wrong
up.
place. Like there.
Straw moving up on the hole. He's going for the insertion. There it goes. In it goes. It's sliding in. He's not
I'm
freaking
always
out. He's
worried
poked
that
the hole
just
in.
the
Put it
foil
in.
will go inside the straw and
Ah.
I'll drink it.
Actually, I had one of those thoughts.
Just
the other
drink the
day.
drink.
See,
I
like,
thought,
This is not
Congrats.
going to be nearly as nice as it could be, as it has been out of the fridge since about 2 p.m. this afternoon.
if you like put it right there, you'll get the...
Oh, we don't want that. Unless.
what do you think? Do you like it?
It's gloopier than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
it's
exactly-
quite solid, isn't it?
quite a
It's
glue
That
not
like
line.
takes a while to get on your throat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Still
not.
there now. Yeah, it's alright. It just tastes kind of milk.
And it
See,
turns out it
to
was
me-
just okay.
Actually, what it tastes like is ice
This
cream
is a
that's
strawberry
warm.
flavor, by the way.
Ice cream
Warm
that's
strawberry
warm.
ice cream.
Yeah, I
It's
can
like,
kinda
you know,
see
like
I can see
milk.
that.
Basically sweet milk.
Would you like to try the
speaking
banana?
Speaking of up and go blends, you actually probably would like the the Coke, what was it? What do you call it? Coca
Banana
bean
best
or
flavors.
chocolate something or other. The thing actually literally tasted like Cocoa Pops leftover milk.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
what
I-
because
I
it
into
even
that.
had that kind of like grainy kind of
I told you what I had for breakfast.
You have actually. I don't
Have
think I
you,
could narrate it.
Jonathan? What
See
do you
episode
have? No. No, we won't go into that. We do like food a lot, but we can't talk about it all the time,
Oh.
sadly.
I mean,
Food
music
podcast
is
win.
just food for
The mind.
the mind. Yeah, exactly.
I want to pull the
Is
plastic
there-
off.
Are you
Random
actually
question:
gonna- are you
Is there
actually
any
gonna drink
type? Is there any genre of music that like makes you think of a particular
Yes, there
food?
is.
that? particular food?
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Is there any genre of music? Yes.
Does music have genres?
Yes. And I have a degree.
Oh yeah, before I should do you want to tell us a bit about what
your
you've actually
background in
studied, your background in music and whatever?
Okay. I have studied music at university.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I started by playing the piano, played that for a few years, and then I picked up the guitar and the bass, played those for a bit as well. And over the year of 2016, I wrote an album, which was fun. Hadn't really done that before, so with some music on it.
So it's been out for 4 years.
Duct tape
Yeah,
and
duct tape and desperation. It's called.
Yeah.
And
Check it
it's
out on
aptly
SoundCloud.
named. I'm thinking of remastering it.
I would like to see
Ooh.
that.
Fun.
That'd be
That-
really
that-
fun.
good,
that would be
actually.
fun.
My
Just
fa-
take all the files and do it again because I know what to do now.
I really like
Surely.
irony. I mean, I know I've said that
Yeah.
a lot of times, but it's
Yeah.
definitely one of my favorite.
Could redo it or something. I don't know. Well, that came out ages ago, and then after that, I was looking at what university to go to, and I managed to get into the popular music course at the University of Auckland, which is, I'll be honest, I didn't know that much about it then, but I knew we'd be doing performing, songwriting, lots of different things. So
Yeah.
I did that for 3 years. If you'd like, I can tell you more about the course. It's quite
What
interesting.
what was the what degree you got? What,
So
what
it's
was
I
it
have a
actually-
Bachelor of Music.
a bachelor.
A
of
B
music,
Muzz,
okay.
and then the major was pop. It's called popular music. I don't like calling it that because it sounds like you're studying
Pop music.
Katy Perry or Justin Bieber. Or
Right, yeah.
Nicki Minaj. or
So
So
something.
what are you studying then if
6ix9ine.
it's not that?
Well,
Are you
it is
dumb?
in part. It is that, but pop music expands a lot more than just like the mainstream pop. It
Yeah, well,
basically means
because-
popular music, which is everything but jazz and classical.
Oh,
Huh, okay.
boo!
Well, you can
Well,
go
'cause
study
pop-
jazz if you want to do jazz. Jazz is a whole thing on its own.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but pop music, popular music, is just what's been popular over the
Yeah.
time frame. Because obviously back in the 50s,
20s.
60s, 70s, 80s, it's
changed.
significantly
Yeah,
changed
sure.
So why
to what
does
it is now.
why
So-
does jazz and classical not fall under that then?
Because they're their own kind of what's the word, schools of
Okay.
thought and of playing. So the jazz players will spend like hours practicing their craft on their instrument and learning about the history, mostly practicing their craft and like improvisation and
Right.
comping and stuff, whereas us pop music people spend a lot more time writing music and learning stagecraft.
Yeah.
So rather than getting great at our instruments, we're getting good at performing
Right.
averagely on a lot of the pop school guys are really really good at their instruments, but it's often not the focus.
Right.
Right.
Because I imagine
You have to be a good singer
Yeah.
to get in, and you have to be able to play one instrument, so guitar or piano, and accompanying yourself, sort of thing.
Right.
But honestly, when a pop person graduates university compared to the jazz guys are way better at their chosen instrument.
Right.
Because of the focus of the course on it. So my course, we typically in a semester have one paper that was on songwriting and creative process and like
Yep.
performance, one paper that was on theory, one paper on instrument practice, so you're working on your own instrument, in my case guitar,
Yep.
and one paper which is usually technology based, so recording, doing all the mixing and stuff of music. And then that changes a bit as you kind of go into the third year. You've got different things that you focus on, and you can kind of specialize a little bit more. A lot of people focus more on the engineering side, the audio side, which I did.
Right.
But some people focus more on like the vocal performance side. So it's a pretty all-encompassing course. They do a lot of history as well.
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
learn
I
a lot
imagine,
about,
yeah, they-
especially Kiwi music history, because that's where we are. So it makes more sense. But yeah, you do a lot of that. So I think, there's
Do you
it's
think,
good.
as far as your pursuit of music, then actually going to university for 3 years and doing the courses really help progress your musical abilities?
Yeah, but not typically through the courses.
Okay.
So in popular music, the theory is really quite basic.
Right.
So expecting you. Sorry, I'm just going to turn that heater off.
Yeah,
It's
no
getting really warm. They don't expect you to be fantastic at theory, and they don't teach it to quite the level as you do in jazz, for example, or classical. Well, maybe classical. But what the university really does offer more than kind of academic stuff, apart from the history, you learn the history stuff, it more offers you an opportunity to do it. So
Is that like being around people as well?
yeah, it's also networking.
Oh, so yeah, like
I was
the
in a
university
building.
will-
I mentioned the last one, the Kenneth Meyer Center. I was in a building with all the jazz guys
Yep.
and all the pop guys. So like, you'd be constantly performing. I think every week, pretty much, you had to perform a song that you'd written. Pretty much every week, kind of give or take. And at the end of every semester, so every 12 weeks, you had to do a final performances, which it's essentially you play 2 to 4 of your own songs with a full band
Oh, that's cool.
on a full stage. Like you get graded down to the shoes you're wearing.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah, we had people get told off for wearing like what you're wearing wasn't fancy enough for
Yep.
the set you were playing, or
Right,
it didn't
okay.
match the music, stuff like that. So you gotta
Right.
think
So
about
like
your,
if you
it's everything, every single thing you do is graded, and so we kind of
How
build
you
up
present
towards
yourself
that.
as a musician then.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that kind of stuff, super helpful.
Yeah.
Having someone go, you shouldn't have done that, or that was
Yeah.
that didn't really do what you thought it did to the audience. They weren't with you in that sort of thing. So yeah,
Did the
heaps of different parts of
Did
it.
the university have like not necessarily partnerships, but do they work alongside with some local bars or restaurants or something to?
We
like,
have all our own
supply-
performance
not-
venues.
Oh, you have your own performance
So
venues.
at
Okay.
uni we perform at the uni, like they have a big stage they
Right,
set up
okay.
and like big audio, whole lot of top-notch audio equipment.
Yeah.
As well as top-notch like recording equipment, which is nice. So learning how to record stuff
Properly.
with like thousands and thousands of dollars of like high-end audio gear, super helpful. And you wouldn't, and like being able to learn from guys, that's a bit more difficult to learn. You can learn it all online.
Yeah.
So you technically could learn everything I learned online, but you
but
can't.
you wouldn't get the experience then.
Yeah, you can't set up like
Well, it's not required.
$20,000 of microphones going through $50,000 of gear on a $10,000
yeah.
drum kit online. Like you just
Yeah,
can't.
that's true.
You can't have that experience.
You kind of need the actual.
And it's
thing.
super helpful to know that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And just like the amount of information you just pick up. Basically, what I say about pop music is that you get exactly as much out of it as you want to. In my case, I mean, I was there to learn as much as I could. So I did. I took like every opportunity I could, really.
Yep.
If someone wanted you to perform something, yeah, sure. If someone wanted you, like, oh, hey, we're recording this thing, you want to come and not even help out, just come and like watch and learn what we're doing. Yeah, love to. That sounds cool. And
they're
then chat
quite-
to the guys and ask lecturers, like, hey, I was thinking of doing this. What do you think I should use? Or, hey, can I come and use the studios on the weekend and
Yeah.
record some things? They're like,
Some
yeah,
stuff,
I'll
yeah.
come and help you. And so
Oh,
you get
sweet. Yeah.
like the engineers from the university because they want to do stuff too. Kind
True.
of like helping you out. So you just
Oh, so you get because he'd obviously want practice using the sound equipment, actual software, and you'd want to record. Yeah.
Would you do popular
Symbiotic
music again
relationship.
if you had a choice between going into a different school?
what do you mean? Would I do
Well, like,
pop
say if
music
you-
at a different school again?
Well, no, sorry. As in, if say you go back 3 years, would you maybe go? Oh, maybe I'll do jazz instead, or
I would
classical?
do jazz instead, I think. If I was going to do music, yeah, I'd go do jazz.
Okay.
Jazz or musicology, but probably jazz. Because I just
Would you
knuckle down and get really good at the guitar.
Would you recommend that for aspiring musicians or
Jazz?
Yeah, or like in terms of
Depends what we want to do.
Right.
I think what you
If
said,
you
yeah,
want
pop
to-
is broad, and then jazz,
Yeah.
you're more specialized.
If you want to be the best guitarist in Auckland, go do jazz. And practice
Right,
9
yeah.
hours a day because that's how much they practice.
yeah.
So like you go and put in everything and you get really good and you play with everyone you can. And one of the good things about having jazz there, so this isn't really an answer to your question, but they're always around. So like the band that I play in now, one of them is all jazz. The other two are jazz guys and I'm pop. So I
Right,
just found
yeah.
them because they're really good at their instruments. You go, hey, come play drums. Want to play some rock? Yeah, keen. Want to play some rock bass? Yeah, keen. So and then you've got a band of two guys who've like worked on their craft and me who can write songs and sing and play guitar to a degree. Yeah, so we've got that kind of around us. So anyone who needs a musician will go to the jazz guys because they can play anything. Typically, if they're good, if they're worth their salt, and they all are. So yeah, what was your question? Would I do it again? I wouldn't do pop again, but I would recommend pop or jazz, but depending on what you want to do.
Okay.
So yeah, as I say, if you want to be a musician,
Have you seen the
either is
movie
good.
Whiplash?
I have not. No,
Okay.
I know it's about jazz.
Yeah, I was gonna. It's about
Yeah.
a pretty tyrannical jazz instructor, and I was just wondering
Yeah.
if you guys had any sort of experience with like.
Tyrannical instructors, not to the Whiplash kind of style, no. I mean, this instructions can be harsh because I mean, something that you come across in creative degrees like our one is, it's very hard to say. Well, it's very hard to say like you did well, or you did badly in that performance because it's all technically subjective.
Individual
So if you're
expression as well.
doing chemistry, you go like.
You didn't.
You
mix
did
the
not do
chemicals.
it correctly, therefore you fail. Or
Yeah.
like you didn't. This is objectively the truth. And if you don't reach that in your exam answer, then you did it wrong. Whereas I can do a performance on stage and like
They can hate it.
they
or-
can say that was awful, but that's just because it wasn't their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so over the 3
Same with
years, you
most of the
kind of.
art and creative degrees, though,
That's
right?
right. Yeah. If you're doing photography, you take a photo. I think that's the most beautiful photo I've ever taken. I think it's worth an A+. And they go, no, I hate it. B.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
with a lot of
Yeah.
my
So what I learned
friends
to
and
do
stuff.
throughout university pretty quickly was to essentially take what the lecturers say with a grain of salt.
Right.
But in certain contexts. So the lecturers that we have, let me work through this in my brain. The lecturers that we have are professionals in the industry and they've done stuff. So one of our lecturers is Godfrey de Groot, who's a professional teaching fellow, and he's an Element OP. You know Element OP, the band, Kiwi band? You should.
Yeah,
I know
Element
them,
OP.
yeah.
He plays
He's in Element
keys and
OP.
saxophone in Element OP.
Ah, that's cool.
So he's done years and years of touring. And do you know Shefu? New Zealand rap artist. He won the 2002 Best Songwriting of the Year award. So like he's got
Now in New Zealand or
yeah,
worldwide?
New Zealand.
Okay.
So he's got stuff to
talent,
his
yeah.
name,
Right,
And it's like there's very like clear to see that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So when someone like that says, "Hey, what I think you did on stage probably wasn't what you wanted it to do, or wasn't the best thing you could have done at that time," like they could be wrong, but odds are they're probably right.
Yeah.
And so even I think even in music where like you can't say like that was incorrect. You played the wrong chord.
Yeah.
There is like standards and there's like in music there's stuff which is normal to do, and like if you're trying to do pop music, certain things that you don't do, and like so that music always has a goal in mind, and often you can critique it with that goal
Interesting.
in mind. So it's a weird one.
Individual expression, really.
Yeah, I guess so.
In a way.
Well, it's really quite strange. But you kind of so I would get a grade in my finals, for example, and like they take you into a room the day after and they sit you down and go, "Good job, we loved it," or "Hey, think about these things," and they'll say like, "We really liked how you did this thing. We really liked this thing. There was like a performance piece that you did that we didn't think worked, or like a horn section arrangement which we didn't like," and like depending on how they say it, you can. A lot of the time, I know it wasn't good because I was just trying something. I'm like, okay, so that didn't work.
Good to know. Yeah.
Ultimately, music school is a place to try things.
Yeah.
You basically you're within this little like comfy zone where no one can hurt you, and all you can get is a bad grade.
Yep.
You may as well.
You're in a place where everyone else is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone else is trying stuff out. Everyone else is
You'd be a bit of a sweat if
experimenting
you're
and
kind of being a bit
And correct
pretentious
me if I'm
about it.
wrong, but a bad grade in music isn't like a death sentence, like it was in sort of other sort of like if you fail your first year of health science, right? You don't get
Probably in
continue-
the dookie.
You don't get
No.
to continue your degree.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work like that. No.
So
And to be honest, they grade very, very kindly,
okay,
which to the annoyance of me a lot of the time. But like you can do
because
a
you
very
didn't feel like you
average
could
job.
set yourself apart from other people, or
Yeah, I'm a bit of a performance achiever, so I like to perform well.
Right,
And it's like you do everything on time and get it in on time and work really hard, stay up late, like blood, sweat, and tears. And then someone else goes, "Oh, I haven't finished it yet. Can I have 2 more weeks?" And they go, "Yeah," and they don't get a grade penalty.
right.
And you're like,
yeah,
"So why did I
Why
put all that
put
bother
hours
of being
in,
like
yeah.
yep.
feeling like I was ethically doing the right thing?"
I think that's just a university
Just-
problem, and
I think it's just life. Yeah,
yeah.
whatever.
I think we'll talk about like music we like to listen to and stuff at some point. But I want to know, what's your thought process or creative inspiring for your songwriting? Like, do you just get ideas all of a sudden, or what inspires you generally with your own personal music creation?
I guess I get inspired by things I listen to. So like bands that I listen to.
Yeah.
I like the way that they function writing things.
Do you have a
So
favorite
when I'm-
genre?
No. Not really. I like a lot of things. I like this. Honestly, genres are getting so hard to define.
Yeah,
Right now.
I was about
yeah.
to say that.
Because like,
The lines have
Trap,
definitely
big
been
house
blurred.
trap. It just is like so many.
some
subgenres
things are
of
very
one
Some of
thing
the
now,
electronic
but then-
stuff, it's like.
Electronics
EDM.
has gone absolutely crazy now. There's too many, but
But I was listening to Dua Lipa today, the new album.
yeah.
I forgot what it's
Not
called.
bad.
Future Nostalgia.
Oh, who knows?
And like that is what it's called. Brilliant album, fantastic. But like you can hear all through it. There's like 80s stuff coming through. There's stuff that
like
sounds
80s
kind of like R&B, kind of Bruno Mars is coming in there. There's straight run of the mill kind of like pop, radio pop coming through. All sorts of stuff, and it's all mixed together. So
like
it's
a
just a big
conglomerate of everything that's been popular in the last
and
five
it's
or
very
6
unlikely
years.
that something kind of like bland in one genre will get popular nowadays because they've been mixing it so often. So yeah, in terms of genre, I just like
Do genres
artists.
even still really exist?
yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
I mean, I think you
Kind of.
still get some artists and some bands and stuff that are very much a particular genre.
Yeah, like
or
rock.
something.
I feel like it's a spectrum though, because even with rock,
Yeah.
you've got hard rock, alt rock, metal rock, math rock,
Yeah.
progressive rock, and
Sedimentary
you could say
rock.
you could have one band and it could have 5 songs of each, one of each.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, some of the songs
I
of
also
my
f-
band _plug. We can talk about what I do
Check 'em
later.
out.
Like we'll have one song which is like very clearly come from metal roots because
Yeah.
there's like stuff in there that chugs
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
vocals that sound metalish. There's some songs that very clearly have like Rage Against the Machine roots.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that's clearly Muse rooted,
Yeah.
like and other stuff that I've listened to. You can hear my influences through my music.
You
I
actually
think.
can. I mean, I know what you listen to, and I can hear a lot of. Well, I mean, talk about it soon, but I can hear Muse, Panic at the Disco.
yeah.
There's even a bit of. There's quite a few things
Yeah.
that I recognize in there. Reliant K a bit too. Particular vibes. I'm like, yeah, I can hear these coming
Yeah.
through in his own like interpretation, and then
And that's kind of intentional.
I think, I think I heard it more so in Duct Tape and Desperation,
Yes.
than in your like more recent stuff.
Mm.
And I don't know how you feel about this. You can say, but like to me, maybe I would think that's maybe because you've found more kind of your own thing.
Definitely.
Like you can still hear the inspiration, but in Duct
2019.
Tape and Desperation, there are certain songs you could easily hear a bit of Muse in there. You could easily hear a bit of
Did you listen to the _ demo EP?
yes.
Do
I
you
think I
remember the
have
song
it.
Spotlight?
Yes.
Yeah. After we performed that at finals at the end of 2018 or the beginning of 2019, I walked into that interview afterwards, which I talked about earlier, and the lecturer said to me, he was like, "You found your sound, haven't you?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You really like that, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool." So that's the thing, like melodic riff-based
Yeah.
kind of rock. And I was like, "Yeah, that is actually." He kind of made me realize, I was like, "Wow, that is actually me." That's like I've kind of landed in that slot, and I can see. But it kind of like you narrow yourself down, and I could see it happening when I looked back. I was like, yeah, that makes sense that I've ended up there. And that's kind of what I've been doing since.
Do you think of music as a way for people to explore their identity?
I don't really, okay, this is probably controversial, but I don't really get on board with the whole, like, oh, music's just like an outlet for my individuality.
Right.
is this creating music or
I just think it's a bit
consuming music?
fluffy.
What are we
Oh,
talking
what do you
about?
mean? Creating or consuming? Creating.
music. Yeah,
Creating, okay.
I think creating music is an outlet, and there's some things that I sing about which I believe in very deeply.
Right.
And some things that I sing about that I'm passionate about, but like, I don't know, I haven't ever had any like great emotional self-realization
Okay.
through my songs, I guess. I don't know, I guess it's a way for people to put what they're feeling into words in a way that they might not otherwise. I mean, yeah, with melody and, you know, music all behind it. But I don't know, music's, for me, now, such a job that, I don't know, I don't see it in quite such a sentimental way.
Hobby or sentimental?
You don't
I
see
don't see it.
necessarily who you are as a person directly connected to the music you make.
No, and I think that would bottle yourself a bit if you did.
Gotcha.
Do you think? I mean, I don't think that's a standard in the music industry, and do you think that's a negative thing in general?
That it happens, that people are kind of like emotionally, like their music is them.
Yes.
I think it works really well for artists.
Okay.
So like someone like let's use like for example Billie Eilish.
Okay.
This is all my opinion, just so you know. This is just what I'm thinking about now. Billie Eilish has a very clear like personality.
Persona?
Yeah.
Persona that she puts out online. That she like I don't know if that's her when the doors and the cameras go off.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. Who
But
knows?
this is what we know
Only
her.
those who know her close would. But like the her that we see really aligns with the music that she does.
Yes.
And
Yes.
because she's a product. Nowadays, artists are a product. Her entire personality and her music
The Billie
is all a
Eilish
product.
brand sort of thing.
And like it works like that together. So that works really, really well. And I got friends who are producing music, and they're the same. Like the things they put out online and the music they make all kind of correlates. And the times when you see it a bit weird often is either really popular or not. I was thinking of an example.
Melanie Martinez, people like that.
Yeah, or it's kind of like
She's kind of
odd.
I kind of categorize her like similar to Billie Eilish, you
Yeah.
know, but like she fit very
the
much the
music
same
very
mold.
connects to her
To the
personality.
personality
Yeah.
she
She's
puts
built
across.
a character that she portrays across her
Yeah.
music sort of
It's
thing.
typically how the marketing thing works, I guess. What was your
I left
question?
that stuff up, honestly. I think it's great.
His question is, do you think that's a negative that
No,
people
it's
do
great. I mean, yeah, I'm quite
just not for you.
pessimistic in looking at the music industry because it is an industry. People like to think, oh, music is just like something I use for creative outlet.
Music make you lose your
It's
mind.
like most professional musicians, music is money. Like I
They lose the passion, you reckon?
he probably does a bit. Yeah,
Well, yeah. What do you think about the commercialization of an art?
that's fine. Sounds like a bank. No,
I mean, it's like
no, it's interesting. What do you mean, like the fact that the songwriters don't write their songs? It's all written by big teams of songwriters, and it's pushed by labels who
Yes.
make it all. It's manufactured essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's hard to imagine it anywhere else actually,
Yes.
because it's been that way since the 50s.
Do you think we're better off for that than if it
think we've got
was
better music.
if it was just an art form of
A lot of the music that I like does tend to be non-mainstream
Yes.
or like stuff that's like from bands ages ago that they weren't signed and they just did what they wanted to do and it was
Yeah.
purely art. Like,
yes,
for example, a band that I love called Switchfoot.
yes,
I love them, and they've all the
Switchfoot's
way through. They made their own record label and refused to be part of. I think they were in Warner for a second, and they were like, "Nah, swerve," and they got out as quick as possible. And they've already done their own things. They haven't had producers, well, they've had producers, but they haven't had labels telling them what to do. And I really enjoy what they've made. So possibly, yes, it does result in a more pure art form, but in the end, it's
The market decides.
it's a market and it's a business, and the stuff, yeah. I mean, yeah, just like any other business, you got to market things and have a product.
Do you think that I believe there's a saying that 80%, most of the music listened is only made by 1% of musicians, and then most of their music is listened to is only such a small part of their entire catalogue. I've forgotten my point with that. Sorry.
I enjoy, for example, there's an album by Ariana Grande called Sweetener.
Is that the
Don't
latest
know-
one?
No, it's a few years ago.
Oh, no, it was, yeah.
It's the one with her upside down. It's pink.
Yes.
Yeah. That one's great. Has some great hits on it. Like, I don't remember any, but there's some good hits. No, that's the exact point I'm making, is that I didn't really like the hits that much, but maybe because they're overplayed and you're like, oh, it's overplayed, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But in the
When you come
usually
back
like
to
the
it.
second half of the album, down there's some songs that are like more, I feel like they're more representative of the actual song, the actual artist.
Right.
And they're like kind of the other side. It's the same in the Dua Lipa album. There's a song called Good in Bed, which is my favorite one, and it would never be a radio hit because
Right.
it's whack. But
Whack,
it's
right, yeah.
awesome. I love it. It's so weird. I think I like it because it's like theoretically strange.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Different.
going, whoa, that's different.
I've had this idea for a while and it's just been going around my head, but I want to put a playlist together of like mainly
Best non-popular mainstream artists.
from well, for me it's mainly like 80s stuff, but like for stuff like Toto, right? Africa
Africa.
is clearly
What's
there.
that one
That girl's
about? Hold the
name?
line,
Rosanna?
Roseanne, Hold the
Rosanna.
Line. Those are the three that they have.
But
Those
like
like
to
the
me,
three
when
big
I
ones.
listen to Toto, there's other songs that I'm like, man, this is my favorite Toto song,
Yeah.
and I
It's
want
like
to put
Panic in the Disco and what is it?
I want to put a playlist together. Oh, Panic, not really. Like he's got
Panic's not
so
really-
many like,
What's
but like
the
Aha,
overplayed Panic one?
Aha, Take
Right.
on
Right.
Me.
It's not tragedies?
Yeah. I write Sin's Not Tragedies. Like
The way I see it,
Yeah, that's true.
in terms of like with Toto, for example, and probably those guys as well, they have songs which are written and become hits. And those become the songs for people that don't know the band that well. You go, if I say Africa, Toto, done. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But the ones that are like further down the album and like are still good are for the fans, the people who actually really like the album.
Yeah.
And they get people hooked in and like, so
Yeah.
like, there's probably like, 90% of the people who listen to Ariana Grande's album only listen to the first three or the ones that were famous.
Right.
And it's the 10% of people who actually like Ariana Grande, which went down and listened to the whole thing and went, wow, that was really cool. And like enjoyed it as a fan, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm spilling like complete BS. Maybe
No,
it's not true.
I agree with you.
I
Like,
think you're right.
It's just my thoughts.
You've
Yeah,
just got a
there's-
point.
Do you have any commentary on the cult-like
Yeah.
tendencies of music fans? Especially yeah.
Tune
Like
Pilots.
of
Yes,
21 Pilots.
stands.
Oh, it annoys me. But then I realized, like, we were talking about Reddit before. Like, the Reddit for 21 Pilots is really annoying, and it's like it's
It's because it's all 12-year-olds.
and then I realized that it's all 14-year-olds.
like goth people, which I mean,
Oh, it's not even that. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I
was
love the
Jay,
band
not
so
me.
much. No, it's cool. It's really cool that people can come together over a band that they like or
Yeah.
music that they like.
Do you think
And it
gets
is
to a
such a
point that it's
unifying
unhealthy, though?
thing.
I think
Oh,
some people
anything can be
take
unhealthy.
it to a point
It's
that
not
it's
just in the
unhealthy.
music. Like,
Any obsession can be unhealthy if it's too
Yeah.
much of it, I guess.
Okay.
But I think I think being a fan of a band is one of the best things you can do, as long as they're promoting good things.
good things, yeah.
But like, yeah, you can get into such a good community with other people who like it, and going to gigs with other people who like it, and it's a really cool way of like
Meeting new
aligning
people,
yourself with other
connecting
people, and it tends to align with like a kind of lifestyle as well.
Yes, I mean, music has brought people together over the centuries.
Exactly.
It has really been, quite commonplace. Wherever we gathered.
Yeah, we have music there.
And massive events. I quite. One of the things I like, I'm not sure if you have a genre for it, but I like songs about like historical events and like the recording of history for music.
That's cool.
Have I told you of the band Sabaton?
I don't think you have.
At the moment,
Is it
they
metal?
are.
It's like Viking metal, right?
No, not Viking. That's Amon.
Viking metal's intense.
But no, they're Sabaton. I think they're Swiss, and they
Jeez.
sing mainly about war and like war stories. But it's cool. They have a cool ass website, and you can go to the website, search pretty much any of their songs, and they'll have like the story behind it, like the historical story.
Cool.
So they've got songs about Gallipoli. They've got songs
that.
about World War II. They've just got a bunch of songs that almost always have a story behind them. At the moment, they're my like second favorite band.
House of Heroes has an album. Do you know House of Heroes?
No.
House of Heroes, an album called The End Is Not the End. And it's almost conceptual. It's a couple of songs that don't kind of fit the theme, but it's all Cold War era kind of stuff.
Oh, that would be neat.
Talking about like Reds and stuff. And it's one of my favorite albums.
Do you guys?
It's fantastic.
Do you guys?
And history as well.
I personally love like story albums, like an album
Yes,
that
yes, like that,
tells
yeah.
a story
That's
throughout.
Yeah, I'm a
also
big fan of
one
that.
of my
Yeah,
favorite
okay,
things.
that's
I
what I was
like.
gonna
I
ask.
see it as more of. I mean, like pop music, yeah, they do like the new Dua Lipa one, all that kind of stuff. There is still like hidden stuff, and it's a whole album, and an album all comes together to make a picture, really, kind of. But then I really like the ones like 21 Pilots is good at it, Melanie Martinez, all that kind of stuff, where the album itself, like
Is a
Melanie
work of art as
Martinez's
a whole?
latest album, what's
The
it
movie?
called? K12, is a movie.
Yeah.
You can watch the whole thing as a movie, and every few minutes there's like 3 minutes of dialogue, then a 3-minute song, which continues the whole thing. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that kind of music.
I'm not sure about it outside of like the kind of alt rock, because I listen to a lot of alternative rock
Yeah, that's
growing
true.
up, and they do it a lot. They really like their conceptual albums. There's a couple of a lot of Muse stuff is kind of like that, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I really like that's conceptual like that as well.
I mean, I haven't looked it up, so I don't know this for sure. But I would think, and I think I've actually said it on the cast before, but I would think that Pink Floyd's The Wall would be one of the first ones that did
true, yeah.
That's
it. And in my opinion, it is a great album. Like, it's just very well written and very well executed.
Pink Floyd's in this interesting spot where it's become, it's so popular that it's now sort of like, stop talking about it.
You
know?
wear the thing, and people are like, "Oh, who's Pink Floyd?" I don't even know.
Nah,
No,
I feel
no,
like
it's
it's not
the opposite.
anymore though.
What?
You reckon?
Too old. Kids don't know it.
Really?
We're in a new generation.
I'll kinda-
Most kids won't
people-
know The Wall.
Okay.
People a few years younger
We
than
will.
us would kind of still be the last
I
to know
I
it.
find myself at least, Pink Floyd is kind of like the Marvel of sort of like that type of music, right? Where it's
Maybe. I don't know. I don't come across it that often.
I mean, I could just be having a really strange experience where it's just like I just
Yeah,
happen to
you
run
might have
into a
just
lot of
you might have
people
just come across it more.
Yeah.
And that's possible. That happens.
Pretty much with albums, I will pretty much automatically like an album more if the whole thing flows. You know what I mean? Like one song ends and it transitions into the next, or
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
anything like that, where there's not just an abrupt end and then the next song starts when it either
Just adds the
the tempo will
experience,
slightly change and then it goes up again in two.
Mm-hmm.
I love stuff that just flows. I just like putting it on, just listening to it, and the whole thing just flows as one fluid.
It's
super
like
sick.
really cool.
the Monster Cat compilation albums they used
Yes.
to do. Do they still do them?
It's kind of changed, but yes, they do.
But
It's like
what was the one
Uncaged now.
I got for free? You
It
got me
was
2 for free.
like
19?
Altitude number 20, I think.
I had 2.
It was
like
Altitude
20 and
20.
19
Monster
or-
Cat is a
I remember that.
electronic record label. They
do
sign on
compilations,
heaps of
really,
stuff. Yeah,
don't
they
they?
put out
That-
good
yeah.
compilations.
They do
they're
compilation
they're a record
albums.
label, and they'll do like every few months they'll release a compilation of all the hits from the
Was
people
it?
they've got
I
signed.
think you would buy them and they would give you a link to send
Yeah,
to
a
someone
few
for free.
times if you bought it, you got a free copy.
Yeah,
sent,
but
so-
but anyway,
That's
on
a good idea, actually. It's
yeah
good free
on the
marketing, really.
albums, So Luke would send me the albums. I'd get the albums. You'd have all the songs individually, and then the last 2 tracks would be the first track would be half of the songs, but done in such a way they were edited so they flowed into each other.
just a mix
And
of
that was like one of my
tracks.
favorite things to listen to. Like they would
Just
each be like
transfers into something else.
it'd be like an hour long each of just the songs just flowing into each other so nicely. And
cool.
yeah,
I've got
That's
I
what
do- I do
DJs do.
Yeah, I like that
Real
sort of thing.
ones.
I've got a couple like
DJ on your
CDs in
phone.
my car where it's all like running tracks or mixtapes, and it all kind of takes songs I know and it melds them all.
running
into,
tracks and tracks to run to.
Have you
well,
guys
like Ministry of Sound CD compilation with like walking,
Yeah.
running, and sprinting BPM sort of crap, and it all kind of just flows into one. It's all like mixed, transitioned. I don't know.
Have you guys had a sort of, I don't know if there's a word for it, but like a dynamic audio virtual reality experience? They're very
Don't
neat.
tell
Do you
me
wanna
you're talking
explain
about
yourself?
8D audio.
Well, it's just sort of, it's not exactly a VR game, but like you're placed in an environment which you can interact. There's music, and the way you interact with the environment changes the music. And that
I've seen
experience.
other people
okay, I
like
see what- yeah.
use
No,
those, but
I
I haven't been in one myself. I've barely spent any time in VR.
One of the head techs at uni was called Clovis. Clovis, what was his last name? I never called him by his last name. I just know him as Clovis. His name was
Cletus.
Clovis. But he was working
Shout out
on, as
Clovis.
part of his masters, he was working on exactly that. So he had a VR. He did a demonstration of it for us at one point. It was really cool. He had a VR
I think it's
setup,
really brilliant.
and like,
It's really evocative.
so you have the eyepiece on, and like you're walking around, and there's like balls of light that move around, and the sound comes from them. So you can move around, and the sound is also moving around.
Yeah, we'll see what's 3D. Yeah.
And it's like properly quite scary. It was quite a scary kind of
Very,
tense
very
music.
interesting, I imagine.
So it's pretty cool.
I think it's quite brilliant.
And I think as you moved your hand up and down, it changed the pitch
Oh, yeah.
of something or something. And like you made the music with your body a little bit as well, which is super cool.
Can you use out the camera?
Um,
It's about 10.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's interesting when talking about like future technology in music because like we've been
Where
doing the
do-
same thing for 60 years.
I was going to say, where would you like to see the music industry go? / what do you predict you'll be seeing in the next, let's say, like 5 to 10 years?
Oh,
Do you
God.
think there'll be
Do you
any
think
like
5 to
massive
10 years
changes
is-
or?
Enough, I would say.
For the industry to change
Yeah.
drastically.
Oh,
I
bro,
think
for
you need
10
at
years
least
from
10
now,
to
we'll
20.
be like in our 30s. That's a long time.
One thing that's interesting that changes is song length, which is quite weird. So back in
getting
the
shorter?
Well, I'll get to that. In the 60s, it started off being really short.
Yeah.
So you got songs like "I Wanna Hold Your Hand" comes in at like 2 minutes 15.
Yeah.
Twist and Shout is like 2 minutes 30. Like really short songs, really bite sized because they fit on a 7-inch.
Yeah,
And
true.
like really quick. You play it, you like it. It gets quickly into the hooky part
Yeah,
that you like.
yeah.
And then we went slightly longer. So throughout like the 80s, you got like Blondie and stuff. Is she 90s? I don't know.
Like the
Longer
4-minute
pop,
mark,
which was
eh?
more like 4.5. People had a bit more patience for some reason. It typically is dictated. I think it's dictated a little bit by the technology, so we could actually store more
The way
music.
we consume it, yeah.
Well, yeah, the way we consume it and how to store it, and like physical limitations of the technology.
Do you think
you
it
can
got
listen
a
to
lot
more?
bigger, kind of, because it's shortened out again now, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's what I'm gonna say. It's gone shorter again.
Yeah,
We're
do you
back to
reckon-
2:45.
Do you think
as a
that's-
standard, which is really weird?
Do you think that's kind of a consequence of like Vine and Twitter and TikTok?
100%. I reckon it's TikTok and it's also an attention span thing. I mean,
Well, yeah,
it's,
because
it's
that's on
proven that
movies
you've
as
got
well.
10 seconds to hook someone or 7 seconds.
Yeah.
If they don't love what they hear in the first 7 seconds of your song,
Yeah.
they're gonna skip you. And
Yeah,
because
that's
you're
true.
in the day of oversaturation, Spotify, blah blah blah, that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So those first like initial contact minutes are super important to actually get someone listening to
true.
your stuff. And I think that speaks to how short it is because you need to get to that memorable hook chorus as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Do you
Or-
need to do that, or do you just need to like throw something interesting enough at them that they go, oh, and then
Yeah, interesting enough, but then it's like a fine line between interesting and ugh.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
So with the age of TikTok, it's going to be really weird, and it's kind of all the people who got on the early TikTok train. It's now done. Now we're getting onto the people are manufacturing songs for
Or
TikTok,
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
talked
they've
about
I
got on
that.
think
on
I
board.
brushed over this at some point.
and it's going to be really interesting to see what that actually does because. Nowadays, kids know a song. For example, I teach as well, like pretty much full time, and I had a kid said, "Oh, I want to learn the song from TikTok." I was like, "What's it called?" She's like, "Oh, Wipe It Down" or something.
Oh,
you know of
that
it?
rap one, yeah. no,
yeah.
Or something like that. She gave me a bunch of them and I wrote them all down. But she's
Yeah.
like, I was like, this song. I was like, oh, okay. So I played it on Spotify and she went, no, it's not that one. No, I don't know that. Skipped forward a bit. Oh, it's that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the
She
one
knows the
10-second
12
part.
second chorus.
Yeah.
That's all she knows.
Yeah.
It's an entire song that's got millions and millions and millions of plays. The kids only know 12 seconds of it. That's the bit that sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who cares about the really cool mixing in the intro and the cool vocal effects and the 20 years of vocal training the singer did? 12 seconds.
Does that make you cynical?
I'm always cynical. Nah, well, I just think it's really interesting, mostly.
I saw.
It's
sorry, go on.
fascinating how the market dictates what we kind of
Yeah.
write. I mean, I say we, I don't really write that kind of music, but it has been, I've been talking with a friend of mine, we're going to make some music. It's like, let's aim for the TikTok market. Why
Yeah.
not? Let's make that catchy little hook chorus, which has some like cool sound effects, which they can go to
So they can
in
do
TikTok.
something too.
Huh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, because once you've got your name, you've
Give
got
it to Luke. He'll do a TikTok.
And then you,
Oh, I'll do it for you.
because with music, I've noticed some sort of bands they have their name, their 5 minutes of fame, and then they kind of do what they want off that.
If they make enough money, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. In the end, I'm not actually famous. I haven't
doesn't
had
even
any success
matter.
with this. I'm just talking from what I've studied and kind of looked at.
More famous than any of us.
Yeah, I reckon.
What was the question?
I don't think you had
Do
a
you
question.
know?
I think I made a statement.
Oh, okay.
You were going to say
I
something
was
like you
gonna
watched
say,
something.
talking about the TikTok thing. I saw a video on Facebook where this guy he's pitching a song to a company, and he does 10 seconds of really good song, and then he just sits at the mic and he starts clicking his mouth and gets out some food. The guy's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I just need the 12 seconds for TikTok. It doesn't matter what's in the rest of the song. That's all that they're going for." And I was like, "That's really true."
Yeah, that's so deep, man. That's so deep.
It
Isn't,
hurts.
the other thing,
Such insight.
you've got all these kids who are the main consumer of music, kind of at the moment, but they're actually, boomers still listen to music as well, which I think is interesting. When we get to the point where the kids now are boomers, what's the covers scene going to look like? So I play a lot of music in covers bands, and I play in a 60s covers band. So we're playing, actually, no, not really 60s, just British music. It's called the Thunderbirds if you want to book us. We're keen. It's like British music from the 60s till now sort of thing, but
Okay.
mostly
Yep,
from
yep.
the 60s.
Do you
So you
play
got a
Bee Gees?
lot of... Huh?
Bee Gees?
Not any Bee Gees. They don't really like the Bee Gees. British people seem to not.
I like the Bee Gees.
They're a bit cringe or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They are big.
We do a
He
lot
did
of...
say British music.
We do it 15 Beatles songs, and we do a bunch of Rolling Stones. No, they are. I think they're Australian.
Bee Gees.
Are they?
Oh, the Gibbs. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Barry Gibbs
Australian.
is Australian.
They're
Yeah.
not.
Wait, I'm
They're
going to
not
say
British,
something
though.
really
I know that
controversial.
much.
The Bee Gees want to do
Whoops.
Sting.
That's an oops.
Anyway.
It is them, right? I want to say that really under my breath just in case I'm wrong.
Sting's from the Police.
Sting.
Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
Sting.
No, I
Sting?
said
No.
the Bee Gees do Staying Alive.
Oh,
don't they?
sorry. I thought you said
I'll be
Sting.
honest. Like,
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
I know. I actually
Yeah,
do
I
know
think
that
so.
Sting's from the Police.
I don't really know. I don't know a lot of
like
music,
Sting.
which is really interesting, actually. We should
Yeah.
talk about that.
I was going to say, yeah, what
Sting's my
music do you
favourite
like
artist.
to listen to? Sting?
Anyway, let me finish my point about that. Oh yeah, we play a lot of covers, and because we play that kind of music, our audience is blokes in their 60s and people who grew up then. And when we get 40 years down the line, are the covers bands going to be playing Gucci Gang and
Right,
6ix9ine
yeah.
covers?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Are we going to be getting up there and going
There's going to be someone on stage doing
I don't know.
Skrillex or something
Yeah,
like
what's
that
it gonna
too,
be?
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting.
Well,
once
Bangarang,
once
what's
everyone
going on?
dies that knows who the Beatles are,
But before we go into
True. Will it
music-
ever happen though?
I've got one
They
more
won't.
thing to
before we
ask
go
as well.
on to music that we enjoy and whatever, something I find interesting is Dad at the moment he likes listening to his Discover Weekly or whatever on
Yeah,
Spotify.
yeah.
You know where
I
it gives you
didn't
new
realise that
artists.
more.
That's
Cool
He
music.
quite enjoys it, and I personally think the Spotify algorithm is quite good. It learns you, right? It
knows what
very
you like.
it starts to know what you like. I've found a lot of bands that way. I found Sabaton that way. And yeah, but he also finds that a lot of the music he likes is, he likes the new stuff that sounds like the old stuff that he liked.
Yeah, I
You know,
suppose people have a
True,
taste.
true.
Yeah, it's so the people, the people in their 60s or whatever, they're gonna they may like new music, but new music that sounds like their old stuff.
Do you know Greta Van Fleet?
Yeah, they sound exactly
Led
like
Zeppelin
Led
2.0?
Zeppelin. Yeah,
It's so interesting.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
they were, and their album came out in 20.
It's a while ago. But they've kind of made a job of sounding like Led Zeppelin. I mean,
But
there's
with
no
new-
denying it. But it's not. It's got different
Does
stuff
it
in
have
it, and
it's
it
got
is
its own identity.
Yeah, it does. But it's very firmly rested on.
To an untrained
Zeppelin.
ear, it sounds the same. If you ask me.
Just before we get into music we like, because that's probably how we'll have a conversation about that, then it'll be about almost time to wrap up. What do you think about predatory practices within the music industry? They're just kind
Predatory
of.
Oh, like
practices?
predatory contracts and stuff.
Yeah, and also like boy bands and sort of things that which
Oh,
capitalize
Kpop.
on K-pop, things that
Stan
What,
Army.
what do you mean by that?
soulless revenue generators, right?
Yeah.
Things that are just there to like give some. I mean, I suppose it's a market. If people want it, then they give them the money.
Yeah.
It's on them. But like, I think there's a point where things, it's exploitative when you're going after like human needs to like be loved and have these it's really. I personally have I won't go into it now, but I have conflicting feelings over the commercialization of art because of how provocative and how I think it's quite intrinsic to humans.
Right.
And so so I think it can be exploited quite terribly, and I think it's quite disgusting.
Right. Yeah. What?
I was gonna say, have you seen the movie Yesterday? The one with
The Beatles guy.
Yeah, the Beatles
Yeah.
guy. That was similar in that aspect where he goes initially from just a little play at the festivals
streets,
thing to
isn't it?
now suddenly like Ed
Yeah.
Sheeran level thing, and you kind of saw a little bit of that. The kind of you're just a thing to generate us money at this point,
Yeah.
sort of thing. It was a
Yeah,
good watch,
I think
by the way.
it's
Recommend
been
that movie.
it's been an issue forever. I mean, since the Beatles, because the Beatles were ultimately they did well to keep as much of their own kind of personality and intellectual rights as they could, because the big companies will like
Take you for everything you are.
your personality is expendable. It's a product, as I said before, like the Billie Eilish thing. Her thing is not her music. Her thing is entirely her look.
It's a brand.
How she acts.
Yeah.
Just like an
I
actor.
think it's probably not great. I mean, obviously, predatorial contracts and like predatorial, is that
Yeah.
even a word?
Predatory.
I don't think so.
It is now.
Predatory contracts.
Heard it at first.
Alien
And
it's
like-
contract?
and not and not looking after your
Stop it.
I'm here all night, folks.
Yeah, a round of applause.
not
Yeah,
looking
as you
after
were.
your artists and like exploiting them is never good in any industry. And in the creative industry, it's probably the problem is it happens so often because you've got young kids or people who are desperate for a music career because it's so glamorous and it's so like shone up and showed to be so cool
Yeah.
that they'll sign anything. You say, hey, we'll give you all these plays on Spotify. We're Warner. We'll give you all this stuff, and you go, yes, sign it.
Please
Just
and thank
give
you.
me that, please.
There's
I
your
want
soul.
that glamorous lifestyle that is on the screen. And it probably is a lie. I don't know. I haven't been signed.
Yeah.
But this is what you
Do you want
hear
to?
is that maybe no, not really. It's kind of what you hear about that sort of stuff happening, and it can't be good. I don't think. But in the end, a lot of the like, we're talking about the K-pop stuff. I don't know too much about it, but I know like a lot of those people who get into it want that. They want
Yeah.
they want the fame and the lifestyle, and they're happy to give up the kind of like
It's kind of
almost
like
human rights.
kind of like the Hunger Games in a way
Yeah.
of like the people from District 1 and District 2 like train to go to these games sort of
And then
thing.
they volunteer.
Yeah, and then they volunteer. Like,
camps,
these
yeah.
organizations, I mean, don't take my
all
word
all
with
I'm
a grain
saying
of
is
salt,
hearsay,
but
though. I don't actually know any of the,
yeah,
of the
they pretty
K-pop
much
stuff.
just
That is.
build these
Sorry.
teams and then just sell them as a band, essentially.
Yeah, I
Everything's
mean,
done for them.
and the thing of like in a boy band, that's kind of what makes it work. Is that you need a big marketing team behind
Yeah,
you.
well, because
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I believe one of like the recent boy bands was like entirely marketing. Like it was just like a business executive got together and they just like interviewed people and they like
it's
assembled
completely
it.
manufactured.
That's pretty much what most of them are. I mean, I'm pretty sure most K-pop new
They
ones,
know what they're
especially
doing.
nowadays, is
Oh, yeah.
manufactured to make money,
They're not
to
dumb.
generate revenue.
I don't
You're
know.
good looking.
I can't
you're
really
good
speak
looking,
too
you
much
can
on the
sing, you
topic.
can
So
dance. Yeah.
it's not so bad here, and like
Yeah, we're not
and
America.
I don't have any personal experience with it.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's good.
I'm sure it has its goods and its bads, but in the end, I don't know too much about it.
Mm.
I can talk more about, I don't know, what I do, like teaching and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I find, music at the moment, like where music is at, you get some great bands, right? And you get some people doing some really innovative stuff.
For sure.
And you get people doing the good old stuff that, everyone used to love and still loves. And then you get people, like mumble rap is a big example, right?
Yeah.
Some people enjoy mumble rap, and so people make mumble rap because people,
Yeah,
people
don't-
do listen to it.
don't-
People
don't-
do
a niche
enjoy it.
market.
You,
but
you don't blame the demand supply. You blame the demand.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I can't understand that. I'm like, how can you enjoy this? It doesn't make any sense to me. But
It's so subjective.
people are listening to it. They're getting
Yeah.
downloads.
Obviously, it is working.
They're getting listeners. Yeah.
Ultimately, you should be making. I mean, they always say at uni, like, if you're not enjoying the music you're making, it's kind of a waste.
Yeah.
I feel kind of the same. I would hate to, even if you do say, like, it's just a job, just do it, get paid sort of thing.
Yeah.
It would be soul-sucking to not actually enjoy what you're doing.
Not
You
enjoy it.
you
And it'll be less authentic, I guess.
you mentioned that you're sort of like you are a top. You strive for like top performance and everything.
Oh, that's just
Do you-
at, like, uni.
Okay, I was just going to say, but do you find
Obviously in real life
do you
as
find
well,
it frustrating being in an industry where chance and marketing are so much more
Valuable than skill?
yeah.
Yeah.
I would
I
take
don't
that
know.
as a yes.
I don't. It's a weird one because, yeah, you can be really good. You can be really, really good and not get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one thing that
That's
they.
like our podcast.
Yeah, well, seriously, we're
The
fantastic.
best of the
speakers.
best, but
Yeah,
But
but
no one's
just
found us.
don't
haven't
really
had
like
that
us.
shot.
Come on, Sanitarium, where's
Nah.
that sponsorship?
I
One day we'll
kind
have
of don't believe in that because people say like, oh, like for example, look at Lorde.
Okay.
Well, that's a bit long ago actually.
That was a while ago.
Oh,
Well, she's an example I know about. Look at Lorde. Everyone kind of from the outside, it looks like, oh, this girl wrote a great song. Everyone loved it. Started listening to it. Boom, off she went. No, she got that song. Got her famous at 17. They'd been
Royals?
Royals. They'd
Royals,
been
okay.
working with her since 12. They picked her up 5 years before.
Wow.
really?
And were almost manufacturing it. Like they were working with her, working on her stagecraft, songwriting,
building a
performance,
persona and
building.
brand.
Pretty
mean,
much.
she's
I
not
don't know
even-
to what point they were building her as a brand,
Okay.
but I know they were involved for a long time. She was like an
Right,
artist
okay.
training. And then when she hit,
is
it was
they,
all timed exactly right.
Is they the
label and
label?
the producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean,
But
yeah.
like it's not that chance thing. It's not like, oh, we got really lucky. And then,
The game's rigged to an extent. Well, I mean, not rigged, but there's things that only certain players can do to make it easy.
yeah, in the end, it's who you know. It's one of those things. It's like who you know, not what you can do. It's very much.
Yeah.
This is, but that's one of the things where
suppose
I think
that's
the
with-
university was helpful in that they don't just say, here's how to write a really good song and publish it to Spotify.
luck,
Off you go, good
yeah.
luck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you how to market yourself and
Okay.
how like the history behind it works and how to like actually make money on things and get somewhere and hopefully give you the tools to launch you on a career. But ultimately, that's not what all of us are trying to do.
And I
anyway, so-
suppose these qualities are no more inherent to music than they are any creative industry.
Yeah.
When you are creating entertainment, art, finding an audience is ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
And it's a marketing game.
Yeah.
It does not matter how brilliant you are at saying what you're saying.
If no one listens, then they won't like it.
That's
yeah.
true.
And,
Yeah.
And so I suppose there is, you can have the best movie, but if you market it poorly, no one comes to watch it, then
Yeah.
it's not
Something I'd
worth
like
it.
to ask, actually, I just thought of. Because I'm really into board games, I look up a lot of board game, I watch a lot of board game media and stuff. And Kickstarter is something that has majorly boosted like independent board game designers, right? It's got them onto the scene. It's got people being able to find them. And then sometimes they get picked up by a company. Sometimes they don't need to because their name's known now. And I know people do sell music on Kickstarter, like they boost their band or
Like they
or-
get money
or-
to make an album.
Yeah, get that.
Yeah, we got some friends who just recently put one up. They wanted like 12 grand to make an album. That's the
Has-
interesting
has-
thing.
Has that actually affected, do you think, the music industry much? Like getting really
New
small
bands out on the
indie
scene?
people actually out there, or
That's the kind of thing where complete luck and the weirdness of the art come into it.
And the
'cause-
internet, not
Did
to
you get a
mention
Mr.
that.
Beast who comes along and goes,
The
"Here's
whims of the internet.
10,000," and off
Well,
you go.
no, but it's things like there's an artist in New Zealand called Phaser Days, and she's doing all right for herself. She had Europe tours.
Mhm.
Pretty cool.
Mm.
She made an entire album with one of those.
Yep.
That's it.
Really?
In her bedroom. Cost her the price of one of those.
Mm.
$200. And she made an entire album, and like she was on the charts for like weeks, months, I think. Just from one microphone, a laptop in her room, and a guitar, I think. And like, so you can
Mm-hmm.
do that. And to a certain extent, she did get lucky because like newspapers and stuff went, "Oh, this is cool. Let's write about this." But a lot of that would have been her writing up a press kit, talking about herself, writing up ads for it,
Yeah,
sending
yeah.
it to them, going, "Hey, would you like to discuss this? Here's all the information for it." Maybe having a friend doing publicity for her. It's not like there was no work that went in and suddenly she got famous.
Yeah,
Which I
right.
feel like is kind of what people think it is. They go, "Oh, Lil Yachty just posted something on SoundCloud," and it was like, nah. Very
What do you
unlikely.
think about SoundCloud rappers and kind of the evolution? Because I see a lot of
I don't
big
know what that
artists.
means.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Well,
like,
you
you
see,
could get some good SoundCloud
There's a lot
rappers.
of people I could name a few, but they're mostly rappers. But even quite a few artists that are somewhat popular now. They started on SoundCloud and then bam went through the roof.
Yeah,
Do you think
I
SoundCloud's
don't
got a
know.
good
it's
platform
just
in
another
general,
way to
or-
get recognized. They could have done it on Spotify. SoundCloud had like a particularly big like EDM, like grunge kind of like rap audience for some reason. I don't know why.
Interesting.
They just gravitated toward it, which is cool. I don't know. It's just where the people are. You go to where the people are. Hope they like it. Yeah. Can all start from one person. I mean, just theorize it. Like this guy likes it. He shows his friend. He goes, "Oh, this is sick." Sends it to the group chat. 8 people now have it. They listen to it in the car with their buddy. Their buddy goes, "Hey, what's that?" "Oh, it's the song by this guy." "Oh, that's sick. Is it on Spotify?" "Yeah, I think so." Here you go.
Yeah.
6 more people, and suddenly it starts to. That's how it
Spread like
works.
a virus in a way.
And that, in that sense, you
Like
can
a
just get
pyramid
lucky,
scheme.
but you have to
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah, it has to be something
Yeah, like
memorable and
well-
worth sharing still.
I suppose this comes down to subjectivity as well, because I mean, there's things that have spread like wildfire that I go like, I don't want to listen to this. I don't enjoy it. It's not. I don't.
Because you don't
find
like
it
mainstream pop.
Or you can enjoy it.
yeah.
You can enjoy it enough, right? Like you
Yeah,
might show me an album. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is pretty good. I might listen to this every now and then. Whereas an example of you didn't necessarily purposely introduce it to me, but I found out about LSD from you.
Oh yeah,
Labyrinth,
I love
Sierra,
LSD.
Diplo,
Oh, should talk about that. That's great.
That's really good.
But you posted about them. I found out about them, and I love them so much that I'm like, I'm talking to other people. I'm like, oh, I think you'll really like this.
Yeah,
This is
word of mouth.
This is
Ancient,
great.
an
Yeah,
ancient
just get,
art.
get it going around. Snail master. Here's your the camera.
And so I think, it has to,
Pretty solid.
for it to continue sharing. It does have to be good. It has to be, subjectively good to the people you're sharing to.
Yeah,
They have to know people that they
To
think
sound
will
decent.
like it.
Yeah.
and-
but in the end, you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on promotional marketing, and
Get
nothing
for-
can
You
happen.
get nothing.
It's the gamble you take.
Yeah.
Yeah, creative, subjective arts.
It's
Do
the
you,
whims
do
of
you
the
like
market.
that? The kind of I mean, I guess for one thing, do
you think
want
that's
to be
part of the
famous one
attraction?
day? Would you like to be famous?
If
As
I
a
was given the
musician.
choice, I'd like to be as famous as like I don't know. Like I'd like to be Bring Me the Horizon famous.
I don't know who that is. So.
Exactly. But they're famous.
Right.
Right, like you'd like to have your own
I'd
following.
like
of
to be
sorts?
niche famous.
Niche famous,
I'd
yeah.
like
Okay.
to have
Okay.
300,000
fun?
listeners on Spotify.
Yeah.
and they continue listening to you,
And they're just like pretty hardcore.
Cool.
fans.
Yeah, that would be cool. But also, it would be quite cool to be like international superstar. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's like
It would be also
fun?
be quite cool to be
Yeah.
like an artist. Well, no, because he like disappeared completely. I don't
Did
even
he?
know what
Nate
he's going
Roos.
on.
Nate Roos.
Nate
He's
Roos.
gone for years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
He
be.
hasn't released anything for ages.
Oh.
He's gone off the face.
I
want to
be the. I want to be like the guitarist in Smash Mouth.
Oh right. Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Who's the guitarist in Smash Mouth?
Not a clue.
But I bet he makes a ton of money.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I saw a joke about that recently. It was like the drummer for something.
I
Drummer for
actually know who the
Metallica.
guitarist in
I know.
Smash Mouth is.
You mentioned that. I'm sure you brought that up in conversation recently.
What were you saying? Sorry.
What I
Ethan?
was-
Oh no! I
go
just
on.
remember I saw like this stand-up bit about like the drummer and
Drummer
Metallica.
in Coldplay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, who is he? You don't know, but
He'd be rolling. He do be rolling in
makes
it.
the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool to be like faceless, but still be able to play music and
Yeah.
be well known in the music
Yeah,
community.
because that's
rather
right. I was reading. It was like he was like the drummer for Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding, which was like a big,
Oh, yeah.
big thing in that
Yeah,
that show.
get paid a lot for that.
And like no one noticed him.
Yeah. And sometimes
Yeah,
you
like
can
one
get
of
like
the
real
most
famous from
watched
that. 'Cause
televisions.
that's kind of how 5 Seconds of Summer started, wasn't it?
How?
Weren't they they were the band for One Direction?
Oh yeah, they supported One Direction.
Yeah,
on
they
their- on their
supported One
Australia
Direction
leg of the
slash
tour.
played the music because the One Direction boys just dance around on the stage. They don't really play
Oh
the
no, I don't think they did
instruments.
that.
Oh no.
Did they? I think they just supported them on the tour. They
Did
were
they?
opening.
Oh, maybe I'm getting my people confused, but I know there's
Yeah.
something to do with
That
it.
would be fun
And-
too, though. I don't know. There's heaps of things that would be fun. It'd be
What I was
sick.
going to say, why I
I'd
asked
probably
if you'd
settle
want to
for
be
anything.
famous.
I'd probably settle for anything.
Any type of fame.
It should be
small,
nicer to
big.
make money from music.
You're
full-time.
not too fussed then, because I was going to ask before when I asked if you wanted to be famous, was do you like the whole kind of risk aspect of all this money and stuff that could potentially go into an album that'll either do well or...
Nah, because I won't spend money on anything I don't believe in.
Okay.
So, for example, I'll just plug my album that just came out.
Sure.
Go for
I had
it.
an EP release called Almost Natural. Came out
Very good.
a
How
few
close
weeks,
to the mark were
a
you?
few months ago. Huh?
How close to being natural?
Oh, pretty close. Very close. But like, I put a little bit of money into that to get it out and to get it sounding nice.
Yep.
But regardless of if it's sold, I was really proud of it.
Mm.
And I'm really happy with the product. And I really like it. I think it's great. And the
It's
fact
very
that other
good.
people
Strong
think it's good
recommendation.
is awesome. But for that one, like that's kind of by the by. It's cool that people like it. And I put it out for people to like it. But like I really enjoyed doing it. And I got a huge amount of personal satisfaction out of it.
Yeah. Well.
And like
Yeah.
that's enough for me. So like I personally wouldn't put money into anything I don't really believe in. And then if it doesn't do anything, then I believed in it.
Yeah.
I
Like
think.
everything I'm doing at the moment. So I've got this. The podcast. I've started a blog. And I'm thinking about starting YouTube videos once I can figure stuff out.
Yeah.
But it's all stuff. The blog I don't have to put any money into. This I paid a little bit of money for the cover picture that Trin drew. But,
Oh, yeah.
But other than that,
Thank you for my mug.
it's yes, you're welcome. We haven't
Merch
read, but
coming
we'll go
soon.
buy stuff.
Can I just? Oh, sorry, you finished it.
All I was going to say is especially for the podcast, that's the only thing I paid a little bit of money into, and I was happy to do that because, I'm enjoying making it, and like you said,
creative outlet
people
for
have
you.
people have had positive things. They say they really enjoy the podcast. They find it funny. People are really enjoying it, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's like
and sure, I'd like to get
it's a small
more.
amount of people, but like
I'd
it's
just-
Yeah,
I'd
I
like to
wouldn't
get
say
more
no to
listeners,
more listeners. No,
but
you definitely
I'm
wouldn't.
enjoying making it.
Yeah.
and saying
and
that
that's
though,
what I
And
like
ultimately,
about
that
it.
will make it better.
and
I
saying
think,
that
in
though,
general.
we're not actively pursuing listeners. Like we don't. Like,
No, we're not going. We're not going onto
marketing.
places.
We're not looking
and,
at what's
and
trending and going, right, let's talk about this because this is a good
Yeah,
topic. We're
yeah.
just talking what we want to talk about and enjoying it, really.
Our only
It's a
way
creative
people
outlet.
get to us is through currently, YouTube recommended
mouth.
and word of mouth.
Mm.
And that's fine for now because that's what we want to do, and that might change from a point. We might get like an aggressive marketing strategy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like, I keep saying that's the thing. I think how many times have I said that?
That's the
Don't
thing.
count.
That's the thing. It's like, there's, you can like give everything you have and like spend a whole lot of money. You go bankrupt working on like becoming your artist.
Yeah.
And people say that like you've got to give everything or you'll never make it. You've got to like commit 100% to your music and like try and make it and be famous. And it still might not work. And it's just a bit too much risk for me. I don't have the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
Some people do, and that's awesome. But so at the moment I teach
What do you
like
think?
30 hours a week, and then I play gigs in covers bands and originals bands. But like, I'm not willing to put it all on the line for
Just at a shot
one
of some
thing.
clout.
Well, not even a shot at some clout.
Yeah.
Add a career in
That's your
full time
actual
like
full-time career in it,
original
yeah.
music. It'll be cool, and I'm gonna push for it on the side. But like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have that mindset where it's like
Not
it's
your
all or
MO.
nothing. You've got to go all
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
or
All
not
your
at all,
chips
or
on
you won't
black,
make it. And I don't think that's
or-
true.
Yeah.
like
You've kind of answered my next question, which is like, what do you think of the whole sort of like, go do an accounting degree and play music on the side if you want to be a musician type?
That's cool.
It's-
Do it.
Yeah, like
All the
I
best.
was gonna say a lot of the YouTubers I know that do it full time, they didn't start, being
They didn't leave school. They didn't
full-time.
leave school and go, right, I am now going to be a YouTuber. They started doing YouTubing on the side.
Yeah.
They got better at it. They realized, I could probably put a bit more
I
time
can
into this.
actually
They did.
monetize this,
They took a
yeah.
risk. They put more time into it, and then it took off. And
Yeah,
I'm
and then they
taking risks
decided-
by spending money on it and putting time into it anyway.
Yeah,
But they didn't. Yeah, as I said, they didn't leave school and go, right, now I'm going to be a famous YouTuber, and then they were.
it's like
But
that.
even sorry, go on.
There's someone I know at the moment. It's someone I watch called Blackjack Legacy, and he only recently started doing YouTube full time, and but he was doing a full time job and just doing YouTube, on the side, and he was realized I'm getting enough viewers, people are supporting me on Patreon,
Yeah.
I could do this full time if I put more time into it, I can make money. off
There's
of
this
it.
point where you
It
got to
was-
make that call.
Yeah. It wasn't like he suddenly went, okay, I'm going to start making YouTube videos full time. I'm going to quit my job and then
Yeah,
start making.
yeah.
It's a
I think it's a good psyche thing to think like, right, all of my power is invested in making this work, and therefore you're going to put more on the line, and you're probably going to work harder at it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
in that sense, I think it's a good idea.
It's a good
But you
drive.
should have that drive anyway.
Yeah.
You don't need to put
If you
yourself
want to
in
do
danger
something, you
of
shouldn't have to
bankruptcy
force
with it.
yourself to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. I think I heard. I forget. It was a director or something.
Oh, stop it.
And it was, saying, if you want to make movies, and you probably won't wind up a director.
Yeah.
But if you've got a story you need to tell and you cannot sleep until you tell it, then you probably will. It's
Yeah.
about that underlying passion. I also think that
Unless it's a bad story.
yeah.
Yeah, that could be the case.
But you'll tell it, and that's the important thing. Because
You put your story out
so much like art is just like never published or like started and never finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kept in a drawer.
What was I going to say? Goodness, I hate that
Yeah, I know.
on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Can I plug my bands?
Yeah, go for
there.
it.
You go for it.
It's like 9 o'clock at night here, and we're all tired. for
We've
some
just
reason.
done an
reason.
episode before this.
We've all been up.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
just welcome to the chill podcast.
But yes, no,
guys.
I'd like you to
Welcome
plug your
to the
band.
chill
I'll definitely
zone.
put them in.
Put them in the Discord then.
I'll link them in the first episode anyway, but you can plug them.
No, I'll link them in this one.
I was going to link them in both.
Oh, do it in both then.
Double plugs. Oh,
So I have a solo project, which means it's just me in it. And that's called Jonathan B. Meyer, or Jonathan Meyer. And that's the same as my Instagram is at Jonathan B. Meyer. And I just released an album you can go and listen to, Almost Natural, 7 tracks.
Don't listen to anything else by that artist because that's
No,
not him.
it's just me now.
Oh, hey,
Changed.
then
oh,
you
it's
are
fun
separate now.
effects.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And my band is called Underscore. It's a 3-piece. We make alternative rock. Sorry, I keep playing with your microphone, don't I? I do this a lot.
Listen to Irony from on Duck
Yeah,
Inspiration.
yeah, that's on the
Can
other
they
one.
still find that?
Yes, if you
SoundCloud?
dig.
I like
Yeah,
it a
but
lot.
underscore
Lo-fi
is
Mondays,
at
always
underscore
something to look
NZ on Facebook and on Instagram. We got music coming out soon, so go hit us up. We'll be
Ooh.
doing some cool stuff.
Do you have any
exciting.
live gigs planned?
Yes, but not like on paper.
Okay.
And
well,
I
the
mean,
problem
you
is
got to
with
remember
that
this
band.
episode is 4 weeks away from when we're recording.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, you got a point.
Yeah, at the current time, our bassist is stuck in Thailand due to COVID. So we can't do anything until he gets back, really. We can do some things, but we can't
Yeah.
actually do any gigs or releases.
That's
so
a bit of a
we're a bit stuck for now. But as soon as he comes back on, we'll be underway again, fully, and with a bit more energy behind us.
Mhm.
Excellent.
So that's underscore. I'm in 2 other bands, one called George After James, which is awesome. Just had a release.
They are great. I've
They're
listened
really
to
cool.
a few of their stuff.
And another band called Odds and Ends. All of those can be found by Facebooking them. They've all got a decent amount of likes. They should pop up. I'm in some covers bands as well, but they can, whatever.
How many? Just quickly, how many bands do you play for currently? Like regularly?
At least 6, probably
Whoa.
more. But the thing is, like with music school, there's a couple of people that like I play for when they need me. So
Yeah.
I got a friend called Julia, and when she's playing a gig, she'll typically say, "Hey, Jonathan, are you free?" And if I say no, she'll get someone else.
Yeah.
It's not like they won't play without
So you're
me.
a casual
but,
then, essentially. in the-
yeah, I'm a casual
Whereas
worker.
like
Yeah, casual work,
odds
you've got
and
a
ends,
casual contract.
if you were,
Odds and
like-
ends, I am the bassist, but
Yeah.
they do have someone on backup
Right,
if I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
make an
yeah.
important gig.
What about George After James as well?
They haven't got a backup.
But you are proper like you're the
Yeah,
bassist
oh no,
for them?
I'm in.
Yeah, cool.
I'm in that band. Thank goodness. Love James. Hi James. If you're listening, James, hi.
Yes,
Shout
plug,
out James.
Plug this to all your music friends.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
So that's why we'll get like extra 50.
I don't know. I want them to
Yeah.
judge me for all the weird things I've been saying about the music industry because I don't know that much. I'm just kind of.
It's fine
I'm
to
just
have an
kind of.
opinion, brother.
Yeah, it's
There's
just
nothing
my
wrong with an
opinion,
opinion.
bro. That's just
That's
like
my opinion.
your opinion.
It's just your thoughts.
But no, I
Yeah,
think Jonathan's a
topics.
really great musician.
thank you.
I've enjoyed everything. Sorry, no, I'm
concur.
bumping the table. I've enjoyed everything that he's done or been a part of that I have listened to.
Which is your least favorite?
I think George After James is just the one that's the least my style. Not least favorite.
Really?
But
Oh,
everything
interesting.
else
Okay.
is more my
Jeez.
style of music.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't mind George
But I
After
do
James.
really like George After
I saw him
James though.
perform live at the on
That's
the stream replay.
Or was that the one at Festival 1?
Yeah, we did main stage. That's sick.
You know, all the links will be in the description on YouTube, description and Spotify, and join our
wrapping up,
Discord
are we?
because we'll be there as well. Come hang out.
Yeah, if you've got a
Luke's
question to
still
ask
one
Jonathan.
I
of
want the.
friends.
I'm trying to pump the Discord.
Yeah, I want the Discord. to be
Join the
full of
Discord.
people.
Description. Find
Yeah.
it. Join.
Did we want to just go into quickly like what we enjoy or where you guys are?
You guys talk about
Close up.
music for a bit. You haven't asked me what I enjoy.
Yeah, it depends. Do you want to talk about that?
I mean,
I'm like Jonathan, right? I like, I don't have a favorite genre.
Right.
I'm
just like
genre
what-
fluid.
my music listening pretty much. I'm just going to pretend I didn't
Cut that out,
hear
John,
that.
please.
Cut that out. My music listening pretty much. I'll
Why
hear
would
a
you
song, I
imply
like
that?
it. I'll hear another song, I like it. I'll hear another song, I like it. I'll hear four songs
Yeah.
top of my like songs and playlist. Repeat,
Yeah.
repeat,
Yeah, there you
repeat.
go.
Then I'll find more songs and it goes down and it just
Pleb.
keeps moving up. It'll be something from the new Skrillex song to a Switchfoot song to the new Dua
Yeah.
Lipa song to something else.
That's
Four
the way it's
completely
going.
random songs.
Would you say you have a favorite band?
A favorite band? I don't honestly think I could pinpoint.
That's the thing. The thing
One
of liking a favorite
particular-
band comes back from the days where you had to buy a vinyl or a CD.
Yeah, true.
Or
You
listen
had
to them on
it
the
was
radio.
kind of brand
Now
loyalty.
I can make a playlist with every genre
Yeah,
in it and
yeah.
listen
Yeah.
through it. Whereas you couldn't before. You had to listen to, if you listened to a Green Day album, you were listening to Green Day for 11 songs.
I,
that was it.
Yeah.
I can't, by the way. I do not enjoy listening to.
Random mixes.
Yeah, I have to
fair
listen. Like I have
True,
five,
that's
6,
amazing.
7 playlists
Varies
of
differently.
like each
specifically.
playlist is a different genre.
Okay.
Tell you what's
Yeah.
weird though, I don't actually listen to music. I
You don't.
hardly ever listen to music like in my free time. But I think it comes from the fact that like
Your
It's
music's
music
out.
is my full time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
during the week, my time is spent teaching and playing like rehearsals for like covers gigs. So most of my listening tends to be covers stuff that I'm going to play later. And most of it. So yeah, I've actually struggled with making myself listen to it because it's really important to. Because I'm creating it as well. I need
You
to
need
be
to kind of
up to
listen to
date
popular
with.
trends and
Yeah, I'm
that
always
sort
really
of stuff in a
behind.
way?
So I actually
Interesting.
have to like make myself. Occasionally, I'll go and listen to the top 40 just to go, oh, that's what's there.
fascinating.
That's what we're looking
I
at.
suppose if I was going to like
Bruno Mars again.
label my favorite music, it's really hard. I guess the way I would describe it is I like music.
Anime is not a genre.
Funny, man. I don't know.
Nightcore. Did you say Nightcore?
You guys are mean.
I never quite,
ASMR
I never
is not
quite
music.
got off with
I don't
Nightcore.
It's kind of just like
Still
I don't know,
go with that.
fireplace music almost. Like I don't know, something you listen to with like a
Restaurant
cigarette
stuff?
and over a balcony of like a city, that sort of stuff. Like on an
Wow.
old broken-
Lo-fi.
Yeah,
I,
guess
I
more.
love
I
lo-fi.
love lo-fi. Lo-fi
I
is
do
cool.
really
Lo-fi-
enjoy
lo-fi
Joji.
Go listen to my
Actually good
lo-fi
move.
mixtape. Have you seen that?
Lo-fi Mondays.
On my
Follow Jonathan on
I've got
SoundCloud.
lo-fi Mondays.
Oh, wait, no,
They're like
I ha-
7
yeah,
tracks.
yeah.
It's really fun.
Willie Pete's like your biggest fan.
Does you like them?
Yeah,
They're good fun. They're good fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like them too. Actually, I've got a few.
So yeah, if you need any audio work done or you want to learn some guitar, hit me up on Instagram.
Only if you live in New
$100 an
Zealand.
hour.
Link in the description.
Yeah. Yeah, are we wrapping up?
Yeah,
I think so. I think we've all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been going about what an hour.
Bit longer.
I don't
More
know.
than an hour.
Yeah,
Hour
I
15
quite
roughly.
enjoy music, and
Me
I
too.
knew if we were going to talk about music, I wanted to get Jonathan on just because you do a lot. You do
Yeah.
know a lot,
yeah.
despite
Interesting
you saying
talk,
that you
actually.
don't know
Very
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You sure sounded like you knew what you were talking
Yeah.
about.
That's all that's important, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just
You just gotta sound like
We
you
like
know
to,
what
sound
you're
like an
talking
yeah, we
about.
like to
figure.
lure the audience into thinking that we know what we're talking about all the time.
You put your
I don't
hand
know why
behind the microphone, not in front of
Oh
it.
no.
Yeah,
Um,
music's cool. Go listen to some.
Yeah, but sorry, what was that, Siri?
Oh, we just woke up Siri.
Siri's waking up. Go to bed.
Thank you for joining us, Jonathan.
That's all right. My pleasure.
It was good to have you.
Have you back
even
sometime.
though you had us. It was good to talk about music. I do highly recommend you go listen to
Yeah, check him out.
something he's doing. And if you don't like one of the things he's doing, go try one of
Try
the
another.
others.
There's 6 apparently.
You got options. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Use them.
Is there anything else you want to say, Jonathan, before we go off?
No, not really.
Nah. Okay.
It's all good.
Epic.
So that's it from us.
Thanks for being a fantastic guest.
You're welcome.
Thanks for loaning us your studio and all your tech.
Yeah, it's all good. We'll come back to it some other time.
Yeah,
Awesome. Surely.
Last thing to do is say goodbye.
That's Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
See ya.